stand up. Thank you for coming.
Welcome to the Rich Township High School Law Day. Today you will hear from attorneys, a private detective, a paralegal, a court reporter, judges, and the founder of a security firm. They are here to speak to you about their own experiences and give you advice. So feel free to ask any questions you have about their experience and their jobs. Now I would like to pass things over to our host, Judge Alan Walker.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Judge Alan Walker. Nice to meet you. How are you? Really? Can we do a little better than that? A little energy? It's not even... Yeah. It's almost 11, guys. Come on, wake up.
Wake up.
All right. So we're going to start at the end down there with Judge Harvey and ask you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself and keep it to 2 minutes.
Okay, that's difficult. Good morning, how are you? Good. All right, that's a little bit better. My name is Judge Toya Harvey. I am a judge in the Law Division down in the Daly Center. What does that mean? What that means is that I preside over jury trials in cases where someone is suing someone else for money damages. And my bar is basically $50,000 or greater. So the multi-million-dollar cases that you may see people win, those are the cases that I oversee. I am a South Suburbanite, born and raised, originally from Robbins, went to Eisenhower High School, then Western Illinois University, and the University of Iowa College of Law. So I appreciate being here with you today, and I look forward to your questions.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Hey, my name is John Fearman. I am a resident of Rich Township. I'm a criminal judge where I handle DUIs. It can be anything from DUI case, a speeding case, or anything else, drug case. But I also handle every expungement case for about 40 cities, and then every emergency mental health case coming through for about 40 cities. Started out, I guess technically securing an online-offline banking system for the East Coast and Midwest with the FBI and with the State Attorney's Office. And then after I went into private practice, and now I'm a judge at the Bridget Courthouse. I've been for about 4 years. And I guess briefly I'll ask the question when somebody just left the stage where they said, because I was pointed out the last session and said I looked like somebody that made straight A's. Let me assure you, over in high school, I had a 2.3 GPA, straight C's. That means, I don't think I made 1 A over in high school. Definitely made at least 1 B. I had straight C's. So, no matter where you are or where you think you are in regards to high school, you have the ability to succeed. I went to Howard University and I graduated number 2 in my class over in finance. Now keep in mind, high school, I'm not even sure they should have let me graduate. So, wherever you are, you have the ability to succeed, whether or not you are a C student, a D student, a B student, but I just want to make sure I answer that question for everybody here.
Okay, but you're not going to be C students. You're going to be A-B students, because when you're an A-B student, your trajectory or your ability to transition to a career is easier than you were a C student. So he might have been a C student, but he worked very, very hard to bring it up to be a B and an A and to be a lawyer and to be a judge. I'm Justice Cynthia Combs. I am a justice on the Illinois Appellate Court. And I use the word justice because there is a distinction. Judge Harvey, Judge Fearman, and Judge Alan Walker are judges who serve in the trial court. That means they hear cases that come to them in the first instance. That's where cases start. You sue somebody, you kill somebody, you steal from somebody, it starts in the trial court. You lose your case in the trial court, you appeal to the appellate court. That case is decided by a justice on the Illinois Appellate Court. So I'm a justice on the Illinois Appellate Court, where I've been serving as a justice since 2015 for 9 going on 10 years. I've also been a trial court judge, like Judge Harvey, Judge Fearman, and Judge Walker, sitting in the trial court deciding cases, breach of contract, traffic court, of course, which all of you will someday enter into, because I did too. heard jury cases as well. Before becoming a judge, I was the director of the Illinois courts, meaning working with the Illinois Supreme Court to oversee every court system in the state of Illinois. I was also a clinical social worker, so I didn't begin my career thinking I would even wanted to be a lawyer or a judge. I started out as a clinical social worker. I got A's and B's.
Good morning. I am Andrea Bonds. I am a criminal defense attorney mostly. I do a little bit of personal injury. I'm entering into my 19th year as an attorney. In criminal defense, what that means is I represent people who are accused of crimes. So that could be anything from something minor, like a traffic offense, driving under the influence, all the way up to something as serious as murder. I started my career at the Cook County Public Defender's Office before I went into private practice. I now have 2 partners. We have practice in Bronzeville, it's called the Bronzeville Law Group. In addition to that, I serve as an elected official. I'm on the Board of Education here at Rich Township High School. I serve as the president of the Board of Education. I want to recognize Tiffany Taylor, who's sitting in the back. She's the secretary of the Board of Education. And so for me and for Ms. Taylor, it's really special to be here to take part in a day like today, because we are absolutely 100% committed to making sure that you all have what you need to be successful at this level and getting ready to go into whatever's going to be happening, whatever you're going to decide to do after you graduate from high school. When I was a student, I had no idea what it looked like to go into a legal career. I had no access to this. And so this is really important. I want you all to ask all the questions that you have. I want you to get all the information. I want you to meet everybody up here. Because it's really important. If you have any idea that you want to go into something in this area, that you know what you need. Or that you get the information that you need. The other thing I want to point out to you is, like, if you have ideas for us, the idea for this legal career services pathway came from a student who said, hey, why don't we have anything? We don't have access. We have all these other career pathways, but we don't have anything to help me figure out how to be a lawyer. And so she told her father called me, and then I called Dr. Thomas, and we made it happen. So I just want you all to know that's the power of what you have. So ask the questions, get the information. Everybody up here wants to be here for you. Everybody on the Board of Education wants to be here for you. So there are no bad questions. Ask whatever you need to ask. Since we're talking about grades, in high school, I think I was a B student. In college, no, I was not I don't even know how I got into law school. I was a 2-point-something GPA. But the point I think that you're getting from everybody up here so far is that it really comes down to how hard you work, your level of determination to get where you want to go. So wherever you're at right now, it's a decision that you make and about where you want to be. So I want you to think about that when you're thinking about what area you want to go into. Don't limit yourself. And I'm going to pass the mic now.
Good morning, everybody. Let's give a hearty round of applause for our school board president and our school board secretary. They have spearheaded the development and the additions to the school, the wonderful field house that we have. You guys have a beautiful track. I was a track athlete. I would have died to have run on a track like that. Isn't that right, Ms.
That's
Jeff
right,
Howard?
that's right, that's right.
That's right. A beautiful you have an indoor and an outdoor track. When I was on track, indoors we ran in the hallways, and outdoors we ran in the parking lot. We didn't run on the track until the weekend when we had a track meet. But I also want you guys to give a very hearty round of applause for Dean Taylor. She works extremely hard. I've had the privilege of working with her the last couple of years as one of the coaches on the mock trial team, and she is a tireless worker, and she's doing that for you guys. I'm Steve Tyson. I'm one of the attorneys at the Cook County Public Defender's Office, and I'm so glad to see my former colleague, Judge Clay Harvey. When I joined the Public Defender's Office, she was one of my mentors. So I believe Justice Cobb stated earlier, have a mentor. She was one of my mentors. She showed me where the courtrooms were. She taught me how to talk. Said, when you say this, don't say that. So it's important to have a mentor. It's important to have somebody who can lead you through things, and she was one of mine. So I'm glad that she's here today. So I'm at the Markham Courthouse. I'm one of the assistant public defenders, and we have about 40 attorneys. We have paralegals, we have support staff persons, we have investigators. We have an entire team that will help with representing people who can't afford an attorney. And that's such an important role, because the person's accused of a crime doesn't mean they did it. It doesn't mean that they're guilty of what they've been charged with, maybe something lesser. But it's important to have somebody who's going to advocate and fight for you in court. So that's what we do. And before I turn the mic over, and again, I promise to be brief, never give a microphone to a trial lawyer. It's never a good thing. I want to, how many underclassmen here? How many freshmen, sophomores, and juniors here? Raise your hand. Raise it high. All right, I'm going to put in my plug right now. Join mock trial next year. Absolutely join mock trial. Give yourselves a round of applause because you're here. You showed up. And you showed up because you have an interest in this area. So I will say this. This is sort of a overview, but if you really want to get to learn what law is about, join mock trial. Please. You don't even have to want to have a career as an attorney, but you'll see what the legal environment is all about. You may say, I'm thinking about being an attorney. You join mock trial, you say, that's what I want to do. Or you may say, maybe not. But join mock trial. We're going in a positive direction, and we just want to go high. So I'd love to see each and every one of you all next year. I know we have some underclassmen. We have Meepo, we have Alana, Key. Who else we got? Who's on mock trial as an underclassman, or I'm sorry, as an underclass person. Our seniors are graduating, so we're going to lose them. We're going to lose Munchie, Darcy, Michael, Hugh. Look, we have to replenish, so I want you guys to come out, okay? Do I have that promise from you?
I'm coming out.
I'm gonna have attorney. Do I have that promise from you guys? Yeah. Crickets. Okay. We got some things to work on.
Well, thank you so much for that. But my name is Ken Webb. I'm a licensed private detective, retired Chicago police officer. And one of the things that my firm does is called Fact Finders Group Incorporated. We provide investigative services for law firms, for attorneys, for municipalities, for businesses, for general counsels. And we have had experience in so many different types of investigations, not only in the Chicagoland area, but throughout the country. I was fortunate to be able to get an education through my employment with the Chicago Police Department. I went on to pursue a master's degree from the Illinois Institute of Technology. And for the last 26 years, I've run this company called Fact Finders Group Incorporated. And that's exactly what we do. We gather the facts. And when these attorneys go before a judge, they got to be prepared. And one of the things that we help them to do is to give them the truth, give them the information that they need to help their clients.
Hello, my name is Deanna Reed, and I'm a paralegal with the Assistant Public Defender Office at Markham Courthouse under the leadership of Chief Tyson. I went to University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign and went from there to get my paralegal certificate from Roosevelt University. Went on from there and got my master's at Roosevelt to get my master's in conflict and mediation at Roosevelt. And I've worked with the subrogation department at an insurance company, with the Spartan Law Group or injury law firm, and which led me here, which has been a phenomenal year. Yeah, so if you have any questions, let me know.
Hi, my name is Edith Smith. I'm a court reporter. I'm also at the Markham Courthouse. I was a freelancer for a number of years before I came over to the state. And initially I worked in the domestic violence courthouse. And then I came to Markham. So I've seen a little bit of everything. And that's basically what the court reporter's job is. We hear a little bit of everything. And then we produce the transcripts that support the needs for the attorneys and judges and other courtroom personnel. But it's interesting, since we started off talking about grades, I'm going to end up talking about grades. This is from a parent's perspective, though. I have two daughters, 6 years apart. My oldest daughter went to Hillcrest, flew through school. She graduated in her junior year, straight A's and everything all the time, never hardly looked like she ever did any homework. It just came very easy to her. My second daughter was the master of what I call the hard B. She got an A. If she got an A, it was a hard A. My daughter got the easy A's. She did not have to do anything, barely looked at it, she got it, it was there. My younger daughter had to work, and it was harder for her. And she had to put in more time, and I had to be more encouraging. But she got some of the grades she wanted, but not all of them. And what happened was her esteem level was based on what her sister was doing. So, well, I'm not getting all the A's she's got. I'm not gonna be that great a student as she is. So when it came time to graduate and counselors were talking to her, she didn't even want to apply to a regular 4-year college. She was like, I want to go to art school. And she did have some artistic tendencies. I'm not trying for all that, academic stuff is not easy for me, blah, blah. We kept saying, just try, just give it a whirl. Nope, going to art school. Well, because they're 6 years apart, she experienced college through her going with me to take her sister to go in the dorms, get out the dorms, join this, find that, homecoming. She saw all that stuff. But she still didn't want to, no, not me. Went to art school. Well, she had absorbed some things. My daughter went to Spelman. She had absorbed some of the mentality, even though she's just watching because she's a little sister. She got into art school and decided, this is not for me. I think I'm gonna try for Spelman. I was like, go ahead. You got it in, your sister went there. She applied, they told her, you're gonna have to do a couple of remedial classes because your grade just scored. She was insulted. I was like, take them. It'll be easy, you did it. You know how to work. She had already established the habits from working hard in high school. I said, just do it. Girl, just do it. Take a little remedial class. It won't be anything, and then you'll be in. That one graduated Phi Beta Kappa. Now, that's the honor society in college. My older daughter didn't even try. She was like, I never thought of that. I was like, but see, this one is the hard worker. So for your grade motivation, don't necessarily look at what this person next to you is doing or the person behind you is doing. Measure yourself by what you do. Just like he was talking about running track, and now my granddaughter's running track. I told her the great thing about running track is you gotta beat your last number. Don't worry about the other folks yet. Run a couple of seconds faster than you did last time. So when you're pursuing whatever it is that you pursue, just remember that it's gonna take some work. We all think of the mentality that everything should really come easy and just kind of slide into my lap. No, RuPaul said you better work. So just remember, whether it's law school, whether it's investigations, whether it's being a judge, whether it's being a court reporter, who, by the way, we do work. I like to say we're the hardest working people in show business, but we do work hard. Everybody works hard. So get the mentality of that I'm gonna have to work hard in your head. Whatever it is you do, you're gonna be a success. If you think you can just do the bare minimum, you're gonna always be creeping along right about in the mediocre level. But anyway, I got off track because I decided I was so inspired by what they said. And I remembered how hard my daughter worked. You can do this and any other thing you make up your mind to do if you're willing to work. So, thank you.
I'm Judge Alan Walker. I sit in the General Chancery Division of the Circuit Court of Cook County, downtown at Daly Center. And unlike judges who hear criminal cases or law division cases at Judge Harvey where people are asking for monetary damages, the kinds of cases I hear aren't asking for monetary damages. They're asking for people generally to stop doing things. Or they're asking for the court to interpret something or to interpret the law. In other words, let's say that there is a company that wants to move its facility from one part of the city to another to a poorer area in that area, and that company is known for polluting the area. There's a lawsuit filed by the community saying they don't want it there. I hear those kinds of cases. Let's say you have a business and you don't get along with your partner and you want to end the business. The partner doesn't want to. I hear those kinds of cases. Let's say you own an apartment with a friend and the friend doesn't want to sell the apartment and you do. I hear those kinds of cases. Let's say that you're a police officer and there's a video of you arresting somebody and the city doesn't want to release the videotape and the public wants it released. I hear those kinds of cases. So I hear cases where people aren't asking for money, but they're asking for either somebody to stop something or do something, right? Does anybody have any questions of the panel for right now? Oh, I just wanted to say one more thing, I'm sorry. I don't know why all these lawyers and judges are making admissions against interest about their grades. When I was in high school, I got all the grades except for F. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, somebody have a question?
How do you guys become such confident speakers? Like, how do you speak well when you're talking in front of all these people?
Good call.
Can you hear me? I think confidence is something that I've learned to acquire over a period of time. Public speaking has always been a good thing for me, but as a youngster, I was always active in the community and always in a leadership role. A lot of the things that we did back in the 60s, that's when I came up, aren't prevalent in your society today, but what's important is that you get involved with being able to be articulate. You have to practice that. You have to learn that. I learned that in the home. My dad was a Pullman porter. My mother was a housewife. But education was always important in our family. And it was that way going through grammar school, high school, and as an adult. So just be positive about yourself. Learn how to be better in everything that you do. It's just like these careers in law enforcement, becoming a judge, being a paralegal, whatever it is, be the best that you can be.
I'll be honest with you. My heart's beating right now. Before I step into the well of a courtroom, I'm nervous. It never goes away. But what you learn is that it's not going to kill you. You're going to have that feeling. I don't know if anybody anybody here see 8 Mile, the biopic about Eminem? Remember right before he went on that first rap battle he threw up? That's what I feel like every time I step into the well of a courtroom, particularly when I'm on trial. A lot of people say, why don't you eat? I said, you don't want me to eat. You don't want that. So I say all that to say that I get nervous every time, but I've learned to manage my nerves, if you will, and just realize that it's going to happen. Just go through it, and you'll be fine. Some things that you can do to manage your nerves, prepare. If you know what you're going to say, it's a lot easier than if you just wing it, as you will. Some things that you could do in preparation, like when I was in college, I was a communication major, believe it or not. Got nervous then when I would have to give a speech or be on a debate of anything. But the nerves are going to be there. but just realize it's not gonna kill you. As one person once told me, do what you fear most and master your fear. And just be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Everything Steve just said is true. It is speaking in front of people in a trial setting, it is scary to me in the moments right before I'm about to do it. But I make myself do it anyway. I tell young lawyers, you fake it till you make it. So when you first start anything, you're not confident, but you act confident, pretend. And then eventually it happens. So I just wanted to share that with you. Anything that scares you, make yourself do it. I never want to go to trial. I'm afraid to go to trial. But I make myself do it, and I do a good job at it because I prepare, like Steve said. Anybody else want to add anything?
So do I have any speechies in here? Nobody's on speech then?
Debate?
Okay, if you have debate. So one of the things that I am different than a lot of people, I never wanted to do anything else. I didn't decide one day have an epiphany, oh, I want to be a lawyer, want to be a judge. No, I was about 8 years old. After enough episodes of Perry Mason, this is all I ever wanted to do. So when I was in high school, I was on the speech team. Why? It teaches you how to talk slower. Slow down. So it teaches you how to perfect your skill. And most importantly, when we are confident when we get up and talk, it's because I know what I'm talking about. I've prepared. All of you at some point, either in high school or college, you're going to have to do, take a speech or communications course. One of the things that they tell you to do is to pick a topic that you know about or that you're interested in. If I'm talking about something I know or I like, I don't need a script, I can talk. But if you do the same thing with a court case, and you know that court case inside and out, when I was like Mr. Tyson, I was part of the Suburban Homicide Task Force prior to becoming a judge. I only represented individuals charged with murder at that point. Those cases I went to sleep with, I woke up with. I knew them inside and out. So when I stepped inside of a courtroom, it was no different than when the actors step on this stage. I know my lines. I know what I'm talking about. And so I'm more confident, and I'm more concise, and I know where I'm going and what I want to do. And at least even if I don't, I'm a good actress. You're never gonna know. Our courtroom is a stage.
I would say I'm kind of like Judge Harvey. Being a lawyer was the only thing I ever wanted to do. So as a consequence of that, I was focused on trying to acquire the skills that would make me a good lawyer through the process of getting my education. And so by the time I got to college, I looked for opportunities to take classes to learn how to speak in public. And so I took speech classes. I would advise all of you, regardless of what vocation or profession you go into, take a speech class or 2 or 3. Communication is important in every aspect of every job that you will have. And the ability to stand up in front of folks and give a speech or talk to them about something will be phenomenal for your career. Yes, you may be a little nervous at first, but usually those nerves go away the minute you open your mouth. So I think the underpinning concept that everybody is saying so far is that it's preparation. And your preparation for whatever it is you're about to do when you graduate from college starts now. So start preparing. And again, if you're afraid of speaking in public, find opportunities to do it. You don't have to speak in front of a lot of people. Start with 2 or 3, 4 or 5, and go from there. Anybody else have a question from the audience?
I have a question. How do you guys deal with like the stress from what you do, like with your job?
That is a really great question because you seem to figure out this is a really stressful area of work. So the best stress reliever is to exercise for me. Took me a while to figure that out, but that's the best thing I can do. And I like to watch mindless TV on the weekends and when I have time. Oh yeah.
I'll echo that. And by the way, Judge Harvey, that's allowed. She's one of the persons on the speech team, so she didn't raise her hand before, so I'm gonna point it out. Make it a little bit, so I'm sorry. Movement reduces stress. So find out things that you enjoy. Ironically, I don't run anymore because I'm too old. I walk. I can't run. I have a bike, so I ride my bike. I do something with these clubs and a white ball. They call it golf, but I don't think I'm a golfer yet. I'm terrible at it. In addition to movement, find other things, hobbies. If you like to read. I know Michael's a musician. If you play an instrument, that relieves stress. Mine is television. But don't do a lot of that. Every Wednesday night, Court Cam comes on, so my wife knows, Wednesday night, he's gonna be watching Court Cam. Don't you get enough of that? I'm like, yeah, it's fun. But yes, movement, a hobby, and mindless TV.
I'll speak to that. Personally, unplugging the cell phone, the constant scroll, the constant intake of what's going on around the world, what's going on in the community, and you come from hearing about what's going on in the world, what's going on in the community, and it's so close to home. You have to unplug sometime. You have to watch what you intake. You have to filter through what you are putting inside of your body, what you are putting inside your mind. Sometimes music without words. I have a little cousin all the time when I would drive home from work, he'll be like, can we listen to music with words? I'm tired of this. If I was just listening to jazz music, because there are no words, I can really just, filter through whatever I process throughout the day. But definitely unplugging is a good source of managing your stress, managing those stress hormones, those endorphins, those dopamines. You have to watch what you intake on a daily basis.
And I have one addition to that. They were mentioning preparation, which is important with everything. For me, because my job is production related, I started to have to look at what was I doing to contribute to my stress. So to give you an example, when we work in the grand jury, you could get anywhere from, it just depends, you could get anywhere from 50 pages to 350 pages on the day that you go there, depending on what is happening. One time I had been in the grand jury and I wound up with about 450 pages, which is a lot of pages to have to turn over because it's tedious work. And I had a week to get it done. And I went on a Thursday. So what does that mean? I got the weekend, right? I blew that weekend off. Running around with my friends, whatever. Monday, I realized that my deadline is Thursday. And, well, it's not gonna take me that long. It took me longer than I thought. I wound up having to stay up all night for 2 additional nights because I didn't use my time like I should have in the first place. So going forward, I said, I'll never let that happen to me again because I still had to go to work on those nights that I stayed up all night trying to get those transcripts done. And then I had to go home and continue to work on them until I hit that deadline. I was so delirious by the time I turned them in. I was like, next time I get a bunch of pages, I will not blow that weekend. I will use that weekend more wisely. So I have found that I tend to be a last minute person, and that last minute stuff puts a lot more stress on you than you need. So if you prepare your mind ahead of time, that I will not allow, whatever your tendency is, you might not be a procrastinator, something else might be your problem, but you gotta look at yourself too and figure out, how am I contributing to my stress? Because that's one thing I can do something about. And then you'll find that you'll learn other ways to work faster and work smarter. It's not always about working hard, sometimes it's working smart. So consider yourself in that equation too.
Anybody else have a question from the audience?
What's something that someone can do?
What's something that someone can do over summer to prepare them for college?
Let me add a little more specificity to your question. At what age? 18, 17. Okay, so usually by your senior year, I'm not gonna say you should have it all figured out. Your senior year, you are, for the summer basically, probably working a summer job, getting some extra money to save for school, to go with you to school. Starting your freshman year, you should be looking for something that will further your ultimate end game. So if I know that I want to go into the law, I want to go into be a veterinarian, start looking your freshman year. There are programs across the country for high school students in areas of specialty. So there are programs where you can go to a summer program for those, because I have two of my top teams. I'm a top teen advisor. Two of my top teams who are freshmen who are going to medical programs for the summer. I have, my daughter wanted to be a veterinarian. She went to Tuskegee. They have a summer program for high school freshmen, sophomores, and juniors who are interested in veterinary science. I tell people, and you don't wait until March or April to look for the program that's going to start in May or June. You are looking in the fall. But the good thing about doing the summer programs, and I know some people say, my summer is my time just to kick it. Okay, you got the rest of your life to kick it, and you add extra zeros to your paycheck by investing in yourself on the front end. My daughter did the program and decided, after having to do some things with animals, that she came home and said, yeah, thank you for that experience. I can't do the blood and the needles and all that with the animals. I appreciate learning that after a summer, rather than me spending the money to pay for 1 or 2 years of veterinary science school. So take the opportunities in the summer. You can have fun, but see about exploring different careers. If you want to be an entrepreneur and you want to run a business that sells, you design clothing and you sell clothing, well, try working at a store, because you're going to learn merchandising, how things are set up, how you build, how you make connections with people who are already in that profession. You might find out you like it. You might find out you don't like it. But you're also building your network so that when I get ready to open my own store, I can pick up the phone and call somebody and say, hey, I used to work for you, and now I'm looking at opening my own. Do you have an idea of somewhere I might be able to open my store? Or maybe I can have a small section in your store, and we can talk about me renting from you. So those are things. Use this time to build your foundation, whatever that may be, law or otherwise. Find some time for you. but use it as networking time, not in school. How am I gonna grow my net worth and my network?
Anybody else from the audience? Justice Cobbs, you are a world-renowned appellate court justice and former AB student. What does it take to be good at your job?
That was a student.
Oh, I'm sorry, A student.
Thank you for the correction. Affirmed. So what it takes to be good at my job really probably isn't very different from what it will take for everybody to be good at your chosen job. To be the best that you absolutely can be requires you to prepare. I read absolutely everything that comes before me. I think about everything that is presented to me, and I prepare. I prepare once, I prepare twice, I prepare 3 times before I ever take the bench, before I ever write a written decision in a case. I know that case inside out. I know that case from the time that it was filed in the trial court. I know the arguments that the attorneys made in the trial court. I know how the trial court ruled. I know everything the court reporter recorded before I absolutely am ready to decide a case. So it is preparedness, it is reading, it is writing, it is thinking, it is analyzing. All of the things that you're going to need to do your jobs well. No different. Whatever the career path, whatever the choice, is preparation.
Mr. Webb, same question. What does it take to be really good at your job?
Takes a lot of practice and preparation. Every case that I've engaged in has always been different in substance, but it's always been the same with my approach. The approach is get the facts, get the information, go out and do the groundwork, do the things that are necessary to make a proper presentation and to have knowledge of what's going on. I've been very fortunate as a detective to, and a classic case in point, I had a presentation before an attorney, and the attorney was so impressed with the groundwork and the preparation that I had done on that case that the attorney called me and says, hey, I got a high-profile murder case out of state I'd like for you to work on. And do you know that that case, because of what I had done for that attorney, brought me over $400,000 in cash for an investigation? So preparation is very important. Not only with things like that, but in your life. As you go through your daily routine, be prepared. Be prepared for what you're up against. I see some of y'all in here asleep. Y'all need to wake up and listen to what we're saying. This is a great opportunity for you to get something from people that have gone through the fight. These professionals, attorneys, paralegals that you see on the stage today, it just didn't happen overnight. They went to school. They stayed awake. They probably had some sleepy days too, but they made sure that they were prepared. Being prepared is being understanding what you're up against every day. You gotta look like you're right. You gotta look like somebody wanna talk to you. You gotta make yourself presentable. Presentable in your speech, in your diction, in your knowledge about what it is you're pursuing. So just be prepared. Do some research. And most importantly, find somebody that you want to be a model of. Get you a mentor. And that will help you get prepared.
Anything you want to add? Any other questions? All right, so for those of you students who are interested, the Illinois Judicial Council, which I'm the incoming president of, offers a judicial externship program for high school students. What it does is it allows high school students to come to court and work with judges in chambers. So you can see what judges do on a daily basis. You get to work with the judges, the lawyers on their staffs, the lawyers that appear in their courtrooms. You get to interact with them, ask them questions. You get to see trials that happen. You get to, in some courtrooms, you might even get to do a little bit of legal research. So if you're interested, the program starts from June 10th through August 2nd. You'll need to send to me a resume and a cover letter, a recommendation letter from a teacher, counselor, or principal. And if you're under the age of 18, you need a letter of consent from your parent or guardian. And you can see Dean Taylor to get my information and a copy of the file. All right, thank you.
I had one addition because you asked a question about what you should take to prepare for college. And if I can pass one thing on to you guys, I would say read books. I am so worried about this generation and coming generations because we are no longer reading. And when you, like say if you were to go to law school, there's so much stuff that you have to read to prepare, if it's reading about the background or preparing briefs or cases or whatever, but any other field that you go into, you're gonna have to read something. And if you want to succeed in the college level or even in just in the workforce period, if you are a well-read person, it almost doesn't matter what your academic background is. And I don't know if you've ever read, when I was in high school, I read the autobiography of Malcolm X. And if you've ever listened to him talk and seen what his life was like and understand that reading books got his mind where it was when it needed to be there, you can educate yourself. You should know the names of some authors and start reading whatever you're interested in. It doesn't have to be the biggest, loftiest book. Start with what you like, but read newspapers. Although they don't even make them hardly anymore, they're probably thick. But if you start paying attention to current events, read a magazine. We look at pictures in magazines, but there are actually articles in magazines. You can't read enough. So expand your mind and read, and you'll be surprised.
Thank you to all of those for celebrating and honoring our judges, lawyers, and all legal careers. Thank you, judges, for sharing your wisdom and knowledge with us today. We would like to also thank our THS District 227, the Board of Education, the board members Andrea Bonds and Tiffany Taylor, Superintendent Dr. Johnny Thomas, Principal Fields, Mrs. Bernardo, Mrs. Taylor, and all staff members for their support, guidance, and encouragement with the law program. Thank you.